What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. I want to, as you see by the title, clearing some shit up. I want to address this, and I've talked to other judges about this. I've talked to coaches about this, and it's something that I noticed that let's fix this fucking camera angle, make that shit square. It's something that I noticed that you know, all this year, pretty much every year, I go to all the shows in the DMV, which is the Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia, in DC area, and I test judge a bunch of them. I got my judging, so now I'm a judge. I judge the shows, and one thing that I noticed is, number one, a lot of people can't pose on stage. The bikini girls seem to put the most amount of time into it, followed by the physique guys. And what's interesting is they have two poses. They have front and back. Like, there's no other mandatories that they have. They don't have quarter turns. They don't have mandatory poses. They have front and back. They put a lot of time and effort into their transitions, into finding the pose that fits their physique the right way, and looking to, you know, very natural and flowing and stuff. Then we have classic physique and bodybuilding. It's a fucking nightmare to watch these two classes on the local, regional level. National level, you know, much better. Pro level, of course, perfect. But the local and regional level, these two classes, I don't know what the fuck has happened. It's sad to see what have happened. So bodybuilding itself has, you know, kind of come down to 3 to 5 guys in each class. Some classes no guys, some classes one guy. And, you know, I think that basically the era of the mass monster has kind of gone by the wayside, and people want the more aesthetic look. Enter classic bodybuilding. Now, the problem that I have with the bodybuilding classes is these guys train, they get huge. Some of them look good, some of them don't. You know, conditioning aside, it is what it is. They don't pose well. I mean, it's fallen by the wayside. I feel like most people don't care. Maybe they get one guy bodybuilding-wise per show that looks really good and, you know, looks like he could win the show. The rest of them can kind of interchange, and they're not really taking it, I think, as serious. I think in their head they're taking it serious, but they're not taking it as serious the way they should be, as far as making sure they come in the best condition they can. I mean, if they're not the most shredded guy, they're not, but at least they, you know, could come in the best they can and work on their posing. I think there's zero excuse. You know, genetics, some people are not going to get as lean as others, but there's no excuse to not pose correctly. Now, that being said, the classic physique is what I have to pick the ultimate bone with right now. I am seeing guys go in classic physique, and these guys shouldn't even be doing physique. The physique guys look better than the classic physique guys. These guys have very little muscle to them. They pose like absolute shit. I don't even know where the fuck they think they're doing classic physique poses. They're inventing new poses that don't go with classic physique. And they, first of all, the condition, they don't have the muscle. Like, they don't have any muscle to begin with. And they're like, oh, I'm doing classic physique. And I'm like, bro, you don't even have enough muscle for physique. What the fuck are you talking about? And I think in their head, a lot of people have gotten this, like, they want to be bodybuilders. You know, they really want to be a bodybuilder. They want to hit the front double bicep pose. They want to hit the crab pose. They want to hit the side chest. They want to hit all the poses. They want to hit the ab pose, the vacuum pose. They love to do the vacuum pose, which most people don't pull it off. But they don't have the muscle. And in their head, they're like, well, it's okay. I'll do classic physique because that's not as big as bodybuilding. That's less muscle than bodybuilding. Yes, less muscle, but not no muscle. What the fuck? So you get on stage, and there's a height and weight class, and some of those guys that are really good barely make that weight class. They have to really struggle. These other guys have 10, 15, 20 pounds left to go in a weight class for their height, and they're getting on stage, and it's almost like a middleweight going against a heavyweight, except there's no conditioning with the middleweight. Can you imagine a middleweight sitting next to a conditioned heavyweight with no conditioning, no muscle? I mean, just because you're fucking 5'11" and you're a middleweight with, you know, no muscle, and you're 10 pounds to grow into the... I mean, it really is fucking mind-boggling. And, you know, far be it from me to say, you know what, don't chase your dreams. But, you know, many of you doing classic bodybuilding should be in physique. The physique guys are... Excuse me, classic physique. I always say classic bodybuilding. Many of you doing classic physique should be in physique. Matter of fact, the physique guys outweigh you by 20 pounds. The physique guys, honestly, are coming in better condition, bigger than the guys in classic physique. Their posing is better. I watch these classic physique guys watch on stage. I talked to a couple of the judges this past show, not this past one, the one before. And I said, what is the problem with the classic physique? Like, they all love to do these poses where they're doing like weird shit with their hands and stuff. And I'm like, what are they doing? And I think they're thinking they replicate some of these other, you know, these other classic bodybuilding stars of the past, like Arnold and stuff. And they're not taking the time to really do it. But even if they hit the poses correctly, they don't have the body to be doing that. you know, I've stood backstage and said, okay, that guy must be like a teenager or whatever, because you're seeing them in their warm-ups. They strip down and they have the classic bodybuilding trunks on, and I'm like, you've got 25 pounds to go before you max out this class. And, you know, all is fine except when they go in the back and I hear the shit like, well, that guy beat me because he's on steroids. And I'm like, the guy beat you because he has a physique. That's why he beat you. Like, you know, let's cut the brass bullshit and fucking push it aside and just talk like fucking real people right now. Like, you know, you look good in the gym. You look probably better than anybody else at your work. I get it. You may have even lost a lot of weight. But you're going against guys that are stepping on stage because they want to turn pro. And they're leaving no stone unturned. That means that they're fucking training hard. They're dieting probably year-round, whether it's to get bigger and gain muscle. They're fitting in a fucking weight class and starving themselves to do that. They're doing their cardio. They're taking drugs. They're doing whatever the fuck they have to do. And you walk on stage and then you get salty because they beat you. Well, here's the deal. As a judge, when we look at someone on stage, that's all we see, okay? We don't see how you train in the gym. We don't see how you drink all your water. If you get up in the middle of the night to eat a meal. We don't see you get up at 3 a.m. to do your cardio when no one's around at the gym. We don't see that you only get to sleep 3 hours between work, family, training. We don't see all that stuff, okay? So all we see is that finished product. It's like the diamond. We don't see the lump of coal. We don't see what it looks like in between. We see the final cut diamond. And whichever diamond sparkles the most beautiful and it looks the best with the best cuts in the diamond is going to win. You know, like, it doesn't matter what someone did to get there. What matters when you're on stage. And, you know, it really upsets me because I feel like they don't really respect what classic physique is. Classic physique is Arnold, Frank Zane, you know, the guys from that era. You know, Callum von Monger right now, that guy's perfect classic physique. Artemis Dahlgren, fucking great looking classic physique. Lee Labrada, Francis Benfetto, Bob Paris. These guys that are competing, making fun of the guys that beat them, saying that they're on drugs and all this other shit, look like the prepubescent versions of these guys who hadn't started training yet. And I'm like, you know, I feel bad for them because they honestly, you know, feel bad about not doing well on the show. And I get that because, you know, whoever doesn't take top place feels bad about the show. I get it. But at the same time, I don't understand, you know, whoever's coaching them hasn't pulled them aside and said, you know what, you're not ready for classic physique. Let's do physique first. You know, let's get control over your body in the front and back pose before we start front, back, quarter turns, mandatories. Like, you know, you've mastered none of the poses. Your physique is not ready. And I get it. Like, oh, I just want to do it, Jerry. I want to do it. That's cool. But when you haven't put it together fully and you haven't really put the work in, because I think everybody really feels like they work hard, right? Everybody feels like they put the work in, they work hard. I listen to them. When I walk around backstage, I hear what people say. I listen to them. They say things to me like, oh, I worked so hard. I did this, I did that. And sometimes the physique doesn't show as hard as the person worked. You know, that's just a fact. Sometimes it just doesn't show what you put in, right? Sometimes you just don't have the final, you know, result that someone else does due to maybe they've been working out longer or harder or have better genetics or whatever the case may be. But to see people get upset about it is really upsetting, because as a former competitor myself and a judge, you know, we get the people that come up to us that say, okay, look, you know, I won this show. What should I improve to go to the next level? You know, that person won and they're already asking what they should improve, and they won. The people that lose a lot of times don't come up to you and ask you, what can I do to improve to be better for next time so maybe I can win? You know, you do get them in there. Don't get me wrong. You get the people that are like, you know, second, third place, like, what do I got to do to move a couple spots? The fifth place guy, sometimes he just walks out the fucking door. He don't even care. You know, like they're like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I got beat by idiots. Like, you hear them saying stuff and I'm like, why would you, you know, I don't get it. You know, it bothers me. So, guys, just clearing some stuff up here, okay? Classic physique is slightly bigger muscle-wise than physique, but still razor-sharp conditioning, okay? Doesn't mean that you don't have to be conditioned because you're not, you know, a bodybuilder. And bodybuilding is bigger than that. It's as freaky as you want to be, as shredded as you can be. Men's physique is an athletic build with the perfect lines, the V taper, the shoulders, the small waist. You have front and back pose. You got your mandatories for bodybuilding and in classic physique, which are similar. But make no mistake about it, just because you're not doing a bodybuilding class, like the heavyweight body or the open bodybuilding classes, and you're doing classic physique or physique, does not mean that you don't have to come in razor sharp with muscle. That's just not what it's about. So hopefully this will, you know, kind of move some things around and hopefully shed some light on things, because I want to give people the benefit of the doubt and say they just didn't know. Whoever's working with them just didn't tell them what they're